Hello and welcome to Refuse. As always, I'm PlumeNoir, and I've already recorded a 40-minute more in-depth look at Jawbreakers. As I mentioned, it had just arrived. Well, when I say just, it actually arrived a couple days ago on Thursday, and I did not get a chance to look at it until the weekend because it's pretty thick. But I did a more in-depth review, 40 minutes long, and I figured I'd do a shorter one because, this, what's the meme? Ain't nobody got time for that. That's me, keeping it topical. Um, but I figured I figured I'd do a shorter review of the book for people who just kind of want to get the main gist, and people who have bought the book and haven't had a chance to read it and are waiting for it, and they don't want to be spoiled too much. I did keep it as spoiler free as possible. Um, but yeah, I wanted to look at this book and kind of do a short review of what I thought. First off, it's funny because at the end of the other video, I said I might do a shorter version. Here I am. The two videos are going to be out of order. I'm going to put this one up first and then the longer one. So if you're interested after seeing this and you want to know more, you can watch the longer one. I may put that up tonight. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But anyway, that's already recorded. So about this book. Like I said, it arrived the other day. I did the $50 tier, which meant that originally the $50 tier got the book and the poster. I've mentioned in previous videos in my Iron Sights, I'm not really into posters. Yeah, I think I've kind of grown out of that. But I wanted to support, and yeah, I went with a higher tier than just the book. And with the various stretch goals, additional posters were added. So, and as you know, the other stretch goal was your Uncle Ethan poster here, cover here, which is, pretty cool. One of the posters is a poster of the cover, which, as you see, it's still pretty darn cool. The other poster is the splash page. We've seen this picture. It's been the promo picture, but now you have it in four times bigger page. And yeah, it looks cool. It's color art. I think it looks fine. I know 4chan doesn't like them. I enjoyed his art. So one other thing, I wouldn't dug this out here. The packaging came in just an envelope. Basically a thin cardboard envelope. So I have no idea how the company actually squeezed it all in there. When I did my video a couple nights ago where I showed it off, it was still shrink wrapped. And I did not open it until I read it tonight around 6 o'clock. And I live in cold weather. It's been pretty damp. It was sitting on my porch. And, I don't think that the shrink wrap really protected it very well because, as I noted in my longer video, you see it's getting a little bit of that wetness here. You see how it's kind of ripple there? I'm not happy about that. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. I'm not holding it against Meyer. He did say that he's had some problems with fulfillment. Some people were getting damaged copies. I was fortunate; my copy's fine. Other than that, I can live with it. That's more of an OCD thing. As opposed to Iron Sights, here's the box. I still have Iron Sights in it. Came in a nice, thick cardboard box. You see? I see that? It was well protected. I don't want to turn it over because I peeled the label off the other one, but I didn't peel it off this. One other thing, and Richard actually did a update to the Indiegogo while I was reading the book. Because there was a stretch goal around, I think, 120K, maybe 140K, where there would be a third poster, that's how many fingers 3 is, where a Zashi poster would be included. And I noticed that I didn't have the Zashi poster. It was supposed to be for people who paid the $50 tier and above. Apparently he said he put in the wrong code, so only the highest level tier got the Zashi poster. And I know that was just a stretch goal. I'm not too concerned. I've already emailed Richard about it, wondering if we'd get it. So yeah, I didn't get that poster. And it was I love pin art, a good girl pinup art. So I was a little disappointed by that. Anyway, about the book. it starts off. Oh yeah, and we got the Meyer signature. If Uncle Ethan comes back to Detroit, I'm going to have him sign this copy as well. Get the, and maybe if Cullen comes, I'll get him to sign as well. Um, I keep calling him Cullen. I mean Malin. God, it's kind of late. Sorry, John Malin. Yeah, get the signatures going in here as well. So yeah, the book is. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the art. Um, and remember, you do have three, basically three books. So you have three different artists. And you can't do art like this anymore. This kind of pinup art without the NPCs losing their minds. And it's a real shame. Because these are the same people that will say beautiful at any size, all women are beautiful, except for if they're women that men find attractive, then it's a no-no. And it's not hurting anyone. You know, you have buff guys, but when oh no, no, that's wrong. And the thing is, she's not even really that sexualized. I mean, yeah, you can say that, but she's not like a slut. You know, she only, kind of flirts and the other guy reciprocates. And yeah, so the whole thing is they're hired to hunt down this gorilla, this giant King Kong sized like gorilla. But it turns out that things aren't what they seem. And the Jawbreakers, being the former superheroes turned mercenaries, end up switching sides. And the reason why is explained in the book. And yeah, the second story we get into is having to rescue a bunch of girls. And yeah, here's where we get to book one. And yeah, they have to go in, they have to do some kind of clever things, like instead of firing up the tank and driving it in where it have a huge heat signature, no, they push it so that only the turret is operational. That way the people using thermal goggles are not going to see it coming at them. And the third story is basically going after a character called the God King, who was a former, sidekick, I guess you would say, mascot, who has gone and killed all the other heroes. So they've been called in to go after him, um, basically to avenge the other heroes and take down his reign of terror. Um, and yeah, the art styles are all very different, as you can see. And yeah, one thing I noticed in my long video, I didn't really notice this when I was reading, it for myself. But the middle story, book one, they they do kind of a weathering effect. The pages have kind of a yellowish stained tint to them, and even it carries through into some of the the speech bubbles. And when you get to the third story, it's not there. So it was a deliberate thing for the middle book. Kind of give it a nice aged, what if you pulled out a 90s book, something you would see. And you can tell that your boy Zach was really influenced by Larry Hama's G.I. Joe. I mean, I love that series too. And, he does kind of the dossiers where it says their name, what they do, and everything else is classified. So, what did I think about this book? He does try some jokes that don't quite land. There's the Leclerc one I mentioned in my longer video that, as I said then, I would give any writer right now, Kelly Thompson, only because I just reviewed her Captain Marvel yesterday, so she's top of mind. I would give her crap for doing that. I'm giving Richard crap for that as well. He's better than that. He doesn't need to be, as he would say, all silly Billy. But yeah, there's a nice banter back and forth between the characters. The tension and some of the goofing you do on you would do with a buddy or a coworker. And also there's the tension between the other characters. The stories are entertaining. The book just keeps going boom, 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 and it's enjoyable. Yeah, when it says that the 90s are back with a vengeance, yeah, 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 they are. And it's fun. I like this book. It ends on a cliffhanger. Excuse me. I want to know where this book is going to next. I will be picking up the next Indiegogo he does. I want to see this continue. And yeah, this is the book that Mark Wade made sure got canceled, that did not get distributed from Antarctic Press, and it's a real shame because he went out and made close to $500,000 on this, and so and that's, you think about that, that's only with over 10,000 backers, and I'm proud. I'll be honest, I am proud to have been part of this Indiegogo. I'm so happy to have seen this come to fruition. And I know 4chan doesn't, they're ripping on it, but I liked it. There is one little bit of social commentary I point out in my longer video, but it's not as ham-fisted as everything else. It's more pointing something out than anything, and that I thought was really funny. But yeah, it doesn't care about politics. It's not trying to, be woke. It's enjoyable. This is what comics used to be like. We all want good guys, or at least in this case, maybe they're not all good guys, but we want to root for the protagonist. We want them to win. We want good to win. And yeah, maybe they're a little bit of stained. We find out that these characters aren't clean cut. They're not Superman, but it's still enjoyable. We still care about them. And some of the characters are pretty cool. I love this design for Knife Hand. It looks pretty cool. Now, some of the bad things, I feel some of the characters aren't as fleshed out as they could be. Um, we do get a little bit more about Knife Hand. Um, I want to know more about Devil Dog. We get a little bit about him, but not really that much. Silkworm and Cuffs are really the main people in this story. Um, and yeah, so I also felt that we didn't really get a good introduction to the characters. It was brought in the way they would be if this had been an ongoing series for a while. I always say every issue is someone's first issue, and you have to kind of piece together. There's an eyeball scene where it takes a little bit of time before you realize. Before it's kind of explained why Hell Priest didn't see the eyeball coming, which, trust me, makes sense in context. Um, and especially since later on in book one, they do the dossier things, the little bit of the little cards like they used to do with GI Joe. We should have had something like that in the beginning, because when you pick up a Superman book, everyone already knows who Superman is, who Lois Lane is, who Jimmy Olsen is. These are all new characters. We should have had a little bit more of a introduction in the beginning, especially during this scene with when Zashi gets introduced, and we only have a couple characters. I'm Silkworm. I'm single. That would have been the perfect time to have the entire cast of Jawbreakers introduce themselves to her, even if they don't, introduce what their powers are immediately. Have a good establishing page. So, but yeah, overall, I'm going to spoil my score on it. What I gave it in the long video, 1 o'clock. It's a 1 o'clock. I enjoyed it. Not perfect. There are a few little bits. I think it's better than Iron Sights. And I enjoyed Iron Sights for what it was. But this I felt is leaps better. And I am behind this. I will be funding the next Indiegogo. Say the word, Zach. I'm there. If anything, to show the big two right now what comics should be, what we're looking for. We're not looking to be educated, educated or re-educated, as they would probably think. We don't need to, know about your leftist, far left-leaning policies. No, we just want stories. We just want entertainment. We just want to get away from the world, for 15 minutes, or, in a standard comic, 5 to 15 minutes, where good versus evil, and, the good guy wins. That's all we want. We don't want to be lectured, and you don't get that in this. We have interesting characters that, to various levels, you can tell which one Zach likes, and, yeah, that's all we want. In this book, it delivered. So yeah, shipping things, I'm not even including that. The Zashi posting, little disappointed on that, but I'm only giving Zach hell on that. I'm not going to hold the packaging, but he did put in the wrong code for the Zashi poster, as he said. So a little bit, but it really doesn't affect my score that much. So anyway, thanks for watching. I was only going to do about 7 to 10 minutes, and I'm already at 15 minutes. So there is a 40-minute version coming up here, 4 times as long as this video, that goes into the book a little bit more. So as I said in that video, did you get it? Did you buy it? Did you read it? Are you interested in this book? Leave a comment. Let me know. As always, thanks for watching.